He comes home to an empty apartment. No one asks where he's been. No one's cooking, waiting on the stove. And here's the part that confuses people. He's not sad about it. We're taught to see this as a problem to be solved. Broken, avoidant, hasn't found the one yet. But psychologists who study solitude say something different. And it's more unsettling than it sounds, because it means the story you've been telling yourself about single men might be completely backwards. Let's break down what's actually happening in his head. 1. He's not independent. He's been forced into competence, and it changed him. This isn't a personality trait he was born with. It's adaptation. Cook every meal alone long enough. Fix your own problems long enough. Make every decision without a second opinion long enough, and your brain stops flagging alone as an emergency. Psychologists call this self-efficacy, the belief that you can handle your own life without outside help. Here's the uncomfortable part. This isn't always healthy. Sometimes it's resilience. Sometimes it's a wall built after getting hurt, and now he doesn't even notice it's there. Either way, the result looks the same from outside. A man who doesn't seem to need anyone. But not needing someone and not wanting someone are two very different things. And most people watching him can't tell which one it is. Neither, half the time, can he. 2. He's not commitment-phobic. He's done the math on what a bad relationship costs him. People assume single men are afraid of losing freedom. That's lazy thinking. What he's actually afraid of is a specific, calculated cost, the emotional tax of being in a relationship that drains more than it gives. He's watched friends shrink themselves to keep the peace. He's seen compromise quietly disappear. So when he stays single, it's often not fear. It's a cost-benefit decision made after watching enough bad trades. The risk isn't being alone. The risk is being with the wrong person and being more alone than he is right now. 3. His standards aren't pride. They're a filter built from evidence. He's just picky is the laziest explanation, and it happens to be wrong. Research on relationship satisfaction shows something counterintuitive. People who hold higher standards and wait longer for compatibility report better long-term relationship outcomes than people who partner quickly to avoid being alone. So when he passes on someone who's good enough, he's not being difficult. He's pattern matching against every relationship he's seen fail, including possibly his own, and refusing to repeat it. The uncomfortable question this raises: how many people are in relationships right now, not because it's right, but because being alone felt scarier than settling? 4. His purpose isn't a replacement for love. It's insurance against needing it too much. Here's where most videos on this topic get it backwards. They say he found purpose so he doesn't need love. That's not quite it. What's actually happening is he's diversified where his sense of worth comes from, the same way you wouldn't put all your money in one stock. If his entire identity depended on having a partner, losing that partner would be catastrophic. So building purpose elsewhere, career, craft, physical health, his own goals, isn't a rejection of love. It's risk management for his self-worth. Love becomes something he wants to add to a life that already works, not something he needs to survive. 5. Solitude and loneliness are not just different. They can be opposites. This is the distinction almost nobody makes correctly. Loneliness is a mismatch. You're around people, but not the right ones, and it hurts. Solitude is alignment. You're alone, and it's exactly where you want to be. The mistake everyone makes watching a man live alone is assuming the empty apartment tells you something. It doesn't. What tells you something is his face when he walks into it. Relief or ache. That's the only signal that matters, and you can't see it from the outside. Most people judging him have never asked the one question that actually reveals the answer. Here's the uncomfortable truth. None of these 5 things prove he's fine. They also don't prove he's broken. What they prove is that single man living alone tells you almost nothing on its own, and yet it's one of the most confidently judged situations in modern life. People will build an entire narrative about his mental health from one data point, an empty apartment. The real psychological insight isn't about him. It's about why we're so uncomfortable not knowing, why we'd rather assume a story, any story, than sit with, I don't actually know what's going on with this person. If you want to actually understand people instead of just labeling them, that discomfort, the urge to explain someone in 5 seconds, is exactly the thing worth questioning. Subscribe if you want more of that.